Okay, so FreeCAD, this will be regarding the View tab. The View tab will be available over here. We can right click on the ribbon, I'm gonna see it. And let's go ahead and discuss all the aspects over here. So the first one will be Fit All. As we can see, this will center everything that we have open within a product, within the middle of the screen. If, for example, I will pan this to be outside, if I'm gonna fit all in, all of those elements will be added to the middle. We can also do fit selection. In this case, for example, I will select the mesh over here. If I will do a fit selection, that will be added to the middle. If I will select, for example, only a face from this 3D model, I will fit the selection. We're going to see that that element will be added within the middle of the viewport. And for example, it will work even with an edge. If I will do a fit selection, keep in mind that we are not going to be that zoom in when we do just an edge. With a face, when I'm going to do that fit all in, we're going to see that the zoom area will be quite similar. If I will go again for something like this, like on a wheel, this will be a little bit more zoom in. So you need to further zoom in and out in order to adjust. In order to zoom in and out, this will be the same as in CATIA. You're going to hold down the scroll, and with the right click, you can toggle it, and afterwards you can move it up and down. So the position of the mouse will make this zoom in and backward. We have the following one over here, where we're going to have the isometric view, and we have the other views, so front, top. You can also access those directly over here on the view cube. So this is something quite similar to, let's say, Inventor or Fusion or AutoCAD, if you are familiar with Autodesk software. Also 3ds Max. So they share, let's say, the same view cube. It's a little bit different, but overall the functionality will be the same. We have this, the orientation. We can also rotate the camera if you want various angles, or if you want a normal tool, we can directly select it. Now, the following one will be align to selection, and this will move the camera base onto the selection. Let's say that I will select this element and I will do an align. We're going to see that this will actually go normal to towards that. If I will go over here for the wheel, normal to will be the following. In this case, for the car on the left, it will not work, since this is a mesh, and we should define some planes where we could then go normal to. So keep that in mind that this mostly works with CAD models. The following one will be visualization, so this will be normal mode. It's entitled as is. The following one will be point mode. And over here, we're going to see the difference between a mesh and a CAD model. We're going to see that a mesh, especially for the round elements, will have a high amount of vertices. While over here, for a CAD model, this is also a simplified version intended for simulation, but we're going to see that there will be quite few points defining those. The following one will be wireframe, and we're going to see over here, for the CAD model, the wireframe will look like this. Over here for the car, this will have a line color set to white. We can change that over here within the color panel. But we're going to see that the mesh over here will be a lot denser. If I'm going to zoom in, we're going to see those details for the wheel, for the car rims, and over here for the brake caliper. If I will swap to the other one, which will be hidden line, we're going to see that we're going to have a little bit of transparency added. And we're only going to see those elements over here. So within the previous one, with the full wireframe, we saw everything over here. For example, we can see on the front of the car. If I will swap to hidden lines, we're only going to see, let's say, those that will be visible. We can also go to no shading, and this will give us the wireframe. In this case, we're going to see that this will work quite slow. So this visualization eats a lot of space. Let's say not space, let's say memory. But now it managed to stabilize. But if I'm going to be a little bit too zoom in over there, it lagged initially. We're going to have the shaded, which in this case will look like this. For this STL, we have the wheels, some of them with black, some of them with gray, depending on those. And the last one will be flat lines, which will be the following. So we see over here that wireframe, how it will look. We are not going to have anything applied, no smoothing. So over here, this was no shading, this was flat lines. They are quite similar for meshes, but there are slight differences. Over here, regarding the other model, we're going to see that no shading and flat lines will add some ambient occlusion over here that will make the model look a little bit better. Usually it's a good idea to keep this as is, so the normal mode. After that, we're going to have the selection. So over here, as you can see, for the mesh, I can only select the mesh. But for this, I can either select the face or an edge, or I could also select a vertex. If I want to only select specific elements, for example, face selection only, I will select it over here. And afterwards, I will not be able to select edges. We're going to see how that cursor will change. So keep in mind that this is a selection filter. Usually it's a good idea to keep it over here on all selection filters. And the last one will be actually a toggle. This will be sync view. As we can see, this will auto switch the 3D view containing the select objects. If I will click it once, we're going to see that now this will be enabled, and we have various settings over here. So we can do a sync selection, sync placement. Usually you can leave this by default. So if you are using single document or multi-document, you can have them all displayed within the tree or only one. Okay, so this was the view. I will make a separate one for the measurement because this will be one of the most important tools within FreeCAD. So I hope you enjoyed this kind of content. I will position a similar video on the left side, and you will find also a subscribe button to the right. So that's it. Thanks for watching.